Hi Stampers, welcome to Easy as Pie Stamping. My name is Lois Avellanet and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how to make this Eastern Medallion Christmas wreath card. Let me show you the products I used to make it. These are the papers that I used. I used the small reindeer print from the Be Merry Designer Series paper. I used this piece from the Merry Music Specialty Designer Series paper. Then I used Smoky Slate as my card base. And I used Basic Black, Cherry Cobbler, and Garden Green cardstock. Let me show you the embellishments that I used. This is the mini tinsel trim. It comes in real red and silver. I used the silver for the card we're making today. I used one of these foil snowflakes. I used the silver. It also comes in gold. There are 12 of each in a package. Then I used our thinlits and framelits to cut out some of the shapes for the wreath. I used the Eastern Medallion thinlits. I used this large one, and then this medium-sized one, and then I also used the layering circles. And let me show you how I determined which size circle I needed to use. I just took each of the medallions and put them down and found the circle that fit just right around the edge like that. Okay. Then I also used this stamp set. It's the Better Together. It's a really versatile set. It has lots of sentiments. It has Merry Christmas. It has congratulations on new arrival for cute baby cards. You can make birthday cards. You can make a sympathy card. You can make a wedding card. You can just send a note. It's a very versatile set. Then I also used some ink. I used the Garden Green and Cherry Cobbler. So now let me show you how to cut the paper. The first thing I did was I took a piece of Smoky Slate cardstock, 8.5 by 11, and cut it in half at 5.5 inches. Then I turned it and scored it down the center at 4.25 inches. I took my Designer Series paper, the Merry Music, and cut that sheet, cut a strip 1.5 by 5.25 inches. Then I took the Basic Black and cut a strip 2.5 by 5.25 inches. Then I took the Cherry Cobbler and the Garden Green to cut out my medallions. I'm going to do it just like this, and one just like this. So let me show you how to use the Big Shot to cut out the medallions. The first thing I'm going to do is use my magnetic platform, and then I'm going to put down one of the cutting pads. Then I'm going to place my cardstock on the cutting pad. Then I'm going to place some wax paper on top of my cardstock. The reason we use this is it helps the cardstock release from the die. Then I'm going to center those on there. And I'm going to center these. Okay, got them just right. I'm going to put a cutting pad on top. Then I'm going to run it through the Big Shot. Okay, and then I'm going to come back, so I'm running it through a second time. Okay, and I'm going to use my die brush tool. And the reason I'm going to use that is so I can release all these little pieces from the die. Okay, see how all the pieces have released from my image? I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm going to roll it, remove the wax paper, and just finish punching out the rest of the pieces like that. Super quick, super easy. Okay, so now I'm going to take all my pieces from my card. I'm going to start assembling it. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is take my Smoky Slate cardstock, and I am going to fold it on the score line. So I just take the edges, line them up, line up the corners, and then just kind of do this with my bone folder to give it a nice crisp edge. Okay, there's my card base. Then I'm going to take the black cardstock and I'm going to put some tape down each side of the cardstock on the long ends. And then before I pick up the tape, I want to give it a nice little check mark movement to break the tape. Then I'm just going to line it up here like that. Take my DSP and do the same thing. Give it a check, give it a check. And making sure the words are not upside down. Put that up against the edge of your black cardstock like that. Then I'm going to take one of my silver snowflakes. I think these are just so pretty. They just add that special touch to any card. Okay, I'm going to put two dimensionals on the back towards the center so that my other pieces are going to cover up that area so that I won't see the dimensionals peeking through like you can see here. Okay, so I'm going to remove the backings. And I'm going to center this on the card like that. Then I'm going to take my green medallion. I'm going to put 3 dimensionals on the back here, making a triangle shape there. Remove the backings. I'm going to put this on the center of my card. Like that. I'm going to take my red medallion. I'm going to put 2 dimensionals on the back. I'm going to center that, push it down. Okay, then I am going to punch out my 2 pieces that I need. I'm going to take a scrap of the garden green cardstock and using a 3/4 inch punch, I'm going to punch it out. And then using the 1/2 inch punch, I'm going to punch out one of the reindeer. I'm going to just center it in the punch like that. Stampers, in this project I was using the old style Stampin' Up punches. I just wanted to show you one of our new style punches. They are designed to close up so that they take up less space when you're trying to store them. So this way you can fit them nicely into some sort of container, and they're all going to line up or stack on top of each other because they fold down flat. Okay, so then I have those 2 pieces, and I'm going to put a dimensional on the back of each one of these. Just like that. I'm going to center this on the card, and I'm going to center my little reindeer. There. Okay, next we're going to use the silver tinsel trim, and it's really easy to tie a pretty bow with this tinsel trim. I'm going to cut off that end. Then I'm going to take one of our glue dots. These are really great for adhering bows and smaller embellishments to your cards. So you're just going to push the back of the bow onto the dot, and then it's going to release onto the back. And then you're just going to stick it right here on the red medallion underneath the reindeer. Okay, so we finished our card on the front. So then I'm going to show you how to stamp the inside. So open my card, and I have Merry Christmas that I'm going to stamp in cherry cobbler. And then I have one of the best parts of the season is keeping in touch with you. I'm going to stamp this in garden green. So I'm going to do this one first. And this is mounted onto one of our acrylic blocks. And the real benefit of using acrylic blocks is you can see where you're stamping your image. So I'm just going to tap lightly. Our pads are very juicy and they're made from a sponge material. So if you push too hard, you're going to get ink into the crevices where you don't want it. You just want ink on the raised surface. So you see, I just kind of turn it over and look to make sure it's all inked up and there's no ink along the edges of the rubber. Just tap it one more time. And then I'm going to stand up here to line up my sentiment. Oh, I want it a little bit lower. Right there. Okay. And then I'm going to take the cherry cobbler and stamp Merry Christmas. Okay. Let me show you how to put the envelope flap together. Take one of our Whisper White medium-sized envelopes and take a piece of the DSP cut 5 3/4 inches long by 2 1/4 inches wide. Then using the Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue, we're going to adhere it to the envelope. So what you want to do is take your glue and just make sure you get it right up against the edges. And open the envelope up and take your DSP with the pictures upside down, and then just line that up with the edge right there. Press it down. Then take your paper snips and just cut along the edges to trim off the excess. And here we have our finished card and our finished envelope. Thank you for joining me today. Please subscribe to my channel and leave a comment or a like. If you would like a free idea book, go to my website listed in the description and click on Contact Me. Happy stamping!